Hello guys, how are you doing? So I got this question from one of you asking, how do I select the best time frames to use in my trading? Okay, so this is going to be a just short video which I'm going to explain to you the things to put into consideration before choosing a particular time frame for your analysis. All right, but remember, in any of my videos that I do, I always emphasize that you start from a higher time frame, all right? Because the institutional order flow, right? They draw on liquidity is mainly on the higher time frame. Higher time frames control what you see on the lower time frames, as you are going to see on this particular video. Okay, so let's get to it right away. All right, so now I'm going to illustrate on my screen here. You will see 3 time frames. Okay, I have on my right here I have the weekly chart. On the middle, right, the medium time frame, I have the 4-hour, and then on my left I have the smaller time frame, which is the 15-minute. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I came about to choose this particular 3 time frames, or 3 frames of time frames that I'm going to be using. Okay, so on the first part of it, like I said, when I start my analysis, I always look at the higher time frame. What is the higher time frame going to? Okay, it is very important. Even if you're a scalper using the 5 seconds chart, you need a higher time frame to know where it's going before you can now scale in using your lower time frame entries to that direction of the higher time frame. It is very, very important. Normally, this is because you can have you might see the lower time frame selling while the higher time frame is actually buying, and if that happens, it simply means that the lower time frame is on a pullback or a correction. All right, so which means that if you are not looking at the higher time frame, you might think that the lower time frame is going to continue selling forever, but in just a short while the lower time frame is going to stop selling and start buying in line with the higher time frame. So it's very important that you keep a higher time frame in mind. Okay, you should have a higher time frame. If you're a scalper or a swing trader, a day trader, or a position trader, you need a higher time frame. That's why we have just so many time frames, okay, in our trading view, or all the time, or any platform that you are using. You have so many time frames that you can use. All right, so I'm going to simply just walk you how I do navigate my time frames. All right, so first and foremost, we're going to start on the higher time frame. It's very important. You need to know where the higher time frame is going. You need to know what it is doing before you can be able to get your entries on lower time frames and that. All right, so I'll be explaining detailedly from the higher time frame to the medium time frame and to the smaller time frame. All right, so here is our higher time frame, here is our medium time frame, and then here is our lower time frame. Okay, so I'm going to explain step by step on how you can choose it. But now you'll come to discover that I am framing them in 2. Right, I have 2 particular time frames in one section. Right, remember I said this is the first section, second, and then the third. All right, in this first section we have 2 time frames. Okay, we have 2 time frames in this first section. Now, which are they? For me, sometimes I look at the monthly chart when the month has ended. All right, so I don't basically navigate to the monthly chart all the time. I just look at it how when the month has ended to see the type of candle the month has closed with, so they can give me a clue of what to expect the next month. But what I keep engaging on is the weekly chart and the daily chart. So on my first section here, I have the daily chart, and then I have the 1 week. All right, so these are the time frames that I use in this particular section of the chart. Right, so I navigate on the daily and the weekly. So how do I navigate between these 2 time frames? Now, there are some times that you see the daily a little bit complex, and then you see the weekly a bit clearer. Okay, it's always like that. Normally, whenever you see a smaller time frame showing you lots of consolidation, just step up to a higher time frame and you are going to see things much clearer. Okay, so when I look at the daily and it's a bit complex, I step up to the 1 week to see a more clearer view. Okay, that's simply how I use. But daily and the weekly, they are my higher time frames. All right, they are my higher time frames. Like for example, here you see that price has been so much bullish, which means that what I'm doing on the medium and the smaller time frames, I'm so much engaged in just buying. All right, so we are going to be having a live example as well on this particular video. So here on the weekly chart, so I said here I have two time frames, the weekly and the daily. Okay, now this is the daily chart that we are seeing, and price has been so much bullish. So where is price going to on the daily chart? We'll see that we have this weekly all-time high, which is our draw on liquidity. Okay, we have this as our buy side liquidity. Okay, so that's our draw on liquidity that we have right here. So the daily is pulling towards this direction. This is a magnet. All right, this is a draw on liquidity on a higher time frame. All right, so which means as we're stepping down to medium and lower time frames, our focus should be on this draw on liquidity coming from a higher time frame. Now, even if we look at the 1 week chart at this particular time frame, we'll still see that price is so much bullish, right? And then we are coming for this liquidity at this point. So in this section, I navigate between the daily and the weekly chart. Now let's go straight to the medium chart, right? The medium chart here, which is the one at the center. So when I have my draw on liquidity on this first section, which is the higher time frame, okay, when I have my draw on liquidity here, let me just put that higher time frame. Okay, so when I have my draw on liquidity on this higher time frame, what I do now is I come to the medium time frame. Okay, I come to the medium time frame. Now, what I want to see on this medium time frame, okay, is simply just a confirmation. Okay, it's simply just a confirmation to the higher time frame. Okay, if price is actually confirming that move that the higher time frame is suggesting. All right, because you might feel like price is going up here and then it starts selling, right? So when you come to the medium time frame here, you want to confirm that that move, is it actually true that the market is heading to that particular direction? You're just to confirm the move, right? Here you can look at so many things. We're going to talk about it based on candlesticks, how they close and so on, which whether they're filling a fair value gap or reacting on another block. Those are the things that you look out for. So in this section, I also have two particular time frames that I'm looking at. Okay, I have the 4 hour. Okay, I have the 4 hour and then the 1 hour chart in this medium time frame. So now, medium section, sorry. So if we're looking at the 1 hour chart and it's a bit complex, right, like accumulating so much, what do? I just step up to the 4 hour. If the 4 hour gives me confirmation that the price is actually heading to this buy side liquidity, then I'm going now to be going out to the lower time frames now to look for entries. All right, it is simple as that. There's nothing much to look on the medium time frame, even on the higher time frame as well. It's just to glance through and then you have an idea of where price is going, and then now you go to the lower time frame to now look for an entry. Okay, so like I said, this is the 1 hour chart. All right, if we go to 4 hour chart, now this is how the 4 hour chart looks like. But you notice that when we're on the 1 hour chart, we saw so many candles, but when you come here to the 4 hour, there is just these two bullish candles, right? Just these two bullish candles. But now when you look at the 4 hour here, we notice that price created a fair value gap here. This is a fair value gap from the high of this candle to the low of this doji here. That's our fair value gap from the higher time frame. Now let's go back here to the daily chart, 1 day. Okay, so this was the daily chart. This was the close of last week, and today is Monday, right? So price traded into this fair value gap on Monday, today. All right, that's the day I'm making this video. So price traded down to this on Monday to fill this fair value gap. All right, this was created last week, so price traded into it today to fill the fair value gap. Now we need a confirmation here, all right, to know if price is filling this fair value gap to continue up or just to continue selling. So now when you look at it on the 4 hours, it's kind of like complex. You are not really seeing the kind of sponsorship that you want to see inside this fair value gap. So I will now step back down to 1 hour time frame. Okay, so when we look at 1 hour time frame, first and foremost, we see this bullish candle. I call it the flagship reversal candle, right? So now on the 1 hour chart, we can now refine this fair value gap into this zone. Okay, the high of this candle to the low of this candle. This is now our fair value gap, because you see here that you have like equal lows. All right, now after price filled this fair value gap, we had this heavy push up candle, right, leaving this down close candle as a bullish order block. Okay, that's now our 1 hour bullish order block, 1 hour OB. Okay, so that's now our 1 hour order block. Now this is just this lone candle, this push up inside this fair value gap. It gives you that sponsor, it shows you that there is sponsorship, right? Price actually wants to buy. Okay, but now your first target is going to be this high. All right, we're just going step by step. Now this is just your confirmation for the moment. All right, because when you see this, you will have to now step down to the lower time frame. Okay, let's suppose that let's say price was at this point. Okay, let's say price was around here. Okay, let's just do this. Okay, now this is how it looks like. Okay, this is how it looked like in real time. Price traded right up to this candle and then it closed this bullish. You will now know that okay, something is happening here. Okay, you can now, all right, this is the order block here. Let me just copy it and then we'll put it on the smaller time frame. This is what happened on the smaller time frame. This was where the move happened on the smaller time frame. So this was the close of this 1 hour candle, and then this is the order block. This is this bearish candle here, right? You see that line from there. So now this is already our confirmation, right? Just one of our confirmations that okay, price will want to really trade higher, right? In line with what the higher time frame is doing. Remember, the higher time frame is bullish, and now for the medium time frame has also been confirmed bullish. All right, so we are now having a bullish higher time frame, a bullish medium time frame. All right, let me just put that. All right, we have bullish time frame, higher time frame. All right, and then medium time frame we are also bullish. Medium time frame we are bullish as well. Okay, so now we are going now to the lower time frame. I mean, after seeing this, we have confirmed that there's sponsorship for price to continue the up movement. So what we're doing now, we're going back now to the lower time frame now to now see confirmation inside this zone. Okay, we want to see confirmations here at this point on a lower time frame to also confirm that this particular time frame is also showing it's showing the right thing. Okay, because price could still trade up, create this candle and then continue down. So we need confirmation in lower time frame to confirm that this is actually right. Okay, so we will now scale now down to our lower time frame. So remember that we had this. Okay, remember we had something like this on our lower time frame. On this was the close of this candle. This was it here, and then this other block, this is the candle here, right? Our 1 hour OB. Now when you look at it on this lower time frame, let me explain this particular time frame as well. This particular time frame is also framed in this section, is also framed in 2 time frames. Okay, which is the 15-minute, okay, the 15-minute, and then the 5-minute. Okay, I'm just giving you how my direct time frames. Okay, we're going to scale it to other time frame like for scalpers and so on. So now this is the 5th. I say this is this section. Okay, the lower time frame section here is 15 minutes. Let me just put that lower time frame section here. Okay, we're having the lower time frame section, medium, and then so on. So now looking at this on the lower time frame, let me just delete this. We now have this structure here. Price actually gave us an SMS. All right, when price failed to make a low lower than this, that was a sign that there is weakness. This price is gaining strength, all right, to go bullish. All right, because this was a lower low and then this was a lower high, right? So price, this low is a bit higher than this one. Okay, which that shows there's a shift in a failure swing, right? Which means price this cardboard is gaining some strength to push up, and now we finally confirm that strength by breaking a structure here. So this is now our BMS, right? That's our shift in market structure at this point. So now you have your shift in market structure. I don't know the type of confirmations you need, all right, but I'm just giving you the particular time frames that I use to confirm my setups. All right, now in this particular point, all right, I'm going to prefer to use this order block here. Okay, I think I've made a video on the other block. You're going to check it on our channel. You're going to see how to choose good order blocks. All right, so we are going to take this order block here, okay, which is where the sponsorship came from before we had this break off structure, to take it as our entry. So our lower time frame section has also confirmed that the medium and the bullish time frame, they are all in line. All right, that is very, very important. All these time frames, 3 time frames, they are supposed to be in line for you to have a good trade. Okay, now if you start selling, suppose that you want to sell from this order block, okay, now you are bearish on the lower time frame, bullish on the medium and the higher time frame. That's actually wrong. All right, you are not going to be able to last while the conflicting higher time frames. Like if they are in line, then you are in a higher probability environment. Okay, so we are going to be engaging a buy here, which the lower time frame has also confirmed the bullish nature of price. Okay, our stop loss should be at the low of the order block. Well, you could decide to close up all these lows. All right, but for me, I prefer a risk. I might prefer my risks to be small, right? So I put my stop loss under this low, the low of this other block. All right. Now, like I said, our first target, despite that we are bullish, our first target is going to be this high. This high was created during the Asian session. Okay, it was created during the Asian session. As you can see here, this is our Asian session. All right, this is the Asian session high. So that's going to be our first target. Okay, that's going to be our first target. Okay, so that's going to be our first target. Remember, on the higher time frame, we still have lots of drawn liquidity right up. So, but for today, as we are day traders, I'm going to be engaging a buy here, and this will be my first target. And this particular trade is 1:6 hour. Okay, 1:6 hour. That means if you are risking 1%, you are up for 6%, 6.93%. That's almost 7%. All right, that's almost 7%. Our stop loss here is about 6 pips. Okay, so now all our time frames are in line. Okay, all we want to see is now just to wait for price to tap in, and then we'll see price going to our direction. Okay, and boom, that hits TP. Now this is very easy. Okay, when all your time frames are in line with a clean narrative, you don't hesitate on your trades. Okay, your trades will not take you so much time playing around. But if one time frame is doing the opposite and the other two are doing the opposite, you are going to be you are not going to enjoy the flow of the trade. All right, so now this is basically how I trade. All right, so now let's break it down to maybe someone like a scalper. All right, so now if you're a scalper, how do you choose which are the time frames you are going to take as your higher time frame? Remember, if you're a scalper, you will not likely be dwelling on the weekly, daily time frame, right? But just have a view of a higher time frame. It's very, very important. All right, just cross check. Even if you're a scalper, just try to look at where the daily and the weekly is trying to push into. And now you can now concentrate on time frames like 1 hour and the 15 minutes. If you're a scalper, like entering trades on the 1 minute chart, you need confirmations from like 15 minutes and the 1 hour chart. All right, so which means that at this point you can have your 1 hour here, okay, and then the 4 hour at this point. Now on this medium time frame, you can now have your 5 minutes and then your 15 minute time frame. All right, here as a medium time frame. And now your lower time frame, which is going to be your confirmation time frame for your entries, will now be your 1 minute and then your 3 minute time frame. Okay, 1 minute and 3 minute time frame for lower time frame section. And then here you can have 5 minutes and then 15 minutes for your medium time frame section. And then on your higher time frame, you can have 1 hour and then the 4 hour. But remember, I said it's good to also check the daily and the weekly, all right, to know what is going on. Okay, now let me give you the reason why I'm saying that you should check daily and so on. Now, if we didn't know that the higher time frame was bullish, all right, we could have been considering this what happened here to be a break of structure and a reversal to happen. All right, we'll be thinking that okay, this is a break of structure, price should go back to the other block and continue selling, but you need to know that the higher time frame is bullish. All right, it's the same thing here. You feel like okay, this is a break of structure, I should sell from the other block. No, price is bullish from a higher time frame perspective. That's why you always need to check your higher time frame. Okay, I can't emphasize that enough. All right, I've made so much videos on that, so you can check on our channel so that you see how I navigate from higher time frames to lower time frames. It's very important. Don't ever neglect higher time frames. Okay, even if you are trading in the seconds chart, always try to see what the higher time frame is doing before you can now scale, because it's very important. Like for example, at this point here, price came back down on a higher time frame to fill this fair value gap here. Okay, price came down to fill this fair value gap here. Now, this particular bearish day was on a Tuesday. Now, if you want to see what was happening on a Tuesday on other time frames, let's just try to see that. Okay, let's try to see what happened on this Tuesday here on lower time frames. All right, this was the day at this point. This was a day here on the 1 hour chart. When you look at it here, you discover that price was breaking structures to the downside. Now, price can actually break a structure here and you sell from this fair value gap. I actually took a trade from here. But why are you selling from here? You know that price is coming back down to fill this fair value gap. And when it did, you shouldn't be selling again. All right, you should not say that okay, this is another block here again, I'm going to continue selling. No, price has filled what the price has taken the liquidity it needed on a higher time frame, and the narrative have changed. So you shouldn't expect lower time frames, other block or fair value gaps to stand against the higher time frame movement. Okay, it doesn't work like that. All right, it doesn't work like that. So when price filled this fair value gap here, all we needed now to do is just to see confirmations, all right, on our lower time frames, and then we'll take the entry. Okay, let's see if 15-minute chart. 15-minute. All right, this is the level on the 15-minute chart. Okay, we had so many confirmations here on the 15-minute chart. I don't want to go that much again. Now let's look at it again on the medium time frame. When price filled, all right, when price filled the daily chart, okay, we closed for the day and then price pushed back up at this point. Now, when immediately price takes this high, okay, when immediately price takes this high from this 4-hour chart, all right, that's already a confirmation that we are trying to go bullish. All right, it's a good reaction. This particular candle like this, I'm going to make a video on it. Okay, this particular candle, when price takes the high of it, okay, it has a particular meaning to it. Okay, so now when price took that high, okay, when price took that high, you now come to your lower time frames. You come to the lower time frame section. Now you are already looking for an entry. Okay, you're already looking for an entry. And now, even as to start, those of you who trade candles pattern, this is a 3-candle drive, which is a continuation pattern, right? Price came back to the fair value gap. That could have been your first entry, but for me, I would have been waiting to see a break of structure first. All right, when price broke this structure now, that's the time I want to get into the trade. Now at this point, price already retested this other block with this bearish candle, went up, there was no fair value gap. At this point, this was the other block that was sitting at this point. Okay, so that's where you take your buy from. We immediately price retested that other block. If you want to put your stop loss slightly below the other block, that's fine. Or we want to give some breathing space for price, okay, according to how you have back tested and you know how price reacts to some certain types of other blocks. Okay, now if we're taking your buy from there, your target will be the old highs, immediately 3 triple tops here. That's your draw on liquidity for the moment, but you know price continue right up, but for the moment that should have been your take profit. All right, so anything that I'm explaining here, price is just fractal. Okay, like I said, if you're a scalper, you know that okay, this time frame here is going to be your 1 minute and the 3-minute time frames. Here as a scalper, you're going to be having 5 minutes and then the 15 minutes, and here on the higher time frame, you're going to be having your 1 hour and the 4-hour. But remember, you always want to check out your higher time frame. So guys, I didn't want this video to be that long, so I hope this helps. I hope this helps. Your time frame is very important for you. I hope it helps. Okay, so thanks for watching. Please, you can like, share to support the channel and to make sure to help YouTube, all right, recommend this particular video to help other struggling traders. So together we make it happen. All right, so thank you guys. Till we talk again. Bye for now.